Hello.
It's been a while,
Yes.
so we have some updates for you.
So, quick update. Today is Saturday, June 5th. And in between now and the last video, kind of a lot has happened, but not really.
It's a lot of small details.
Yes. So, I dealt with all my injections. And
Which she took like a champ.
Yep. And then I had my egg retrieval. And we had to drive to Chicago for the egg retrieval, and it was a minor surgery. They had to put me under, and it was actually not a bad experience. I was really fearful because I talked to someone who had a bad experience with their anesthesia and like waking up and going back to sleep. So I was fearful of that, but my experience was really good.
She had a great team.
Yeah, like I was asleep, I didn't feel nothing. I woke up, they gave me Gatorade and chips. Like that's like I was really crampy and stuff afterwards and really sore. But they got 17 eggs, 15 were mature. Out of that 15
was
8 fertilized.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically what they do is after they fertilize, they have to make it to what's called the blastocyst stage,
mm-hmm.
which is a week after fertilization. So of the 8 that fertilized, 4 made it to that next phase.
Yep.
Of that 4, we opted to do the genetic testing. So
what's the genetic testing?
Basically just making sure that the eggs that we choose for transfer are healthy, they have all the chromosomes, less likely for miscarriage, that good stuff. And they told us 4 to 6 weeks. It took like 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And of the 4 eggs that we sent off for testing, like they basically biopsy it, biopsy the egg and send off the biopsy. Of those 4, 2 were really healthy. So we got that news that the 2 were healthy, and then we had our phone appointment with our fertility specialist like a week later basically. Yeah. And we were really excited. We thought that we were gonna like start planning for transfer.
We had our own set of expectations going into this next meeting, and
yeah, that's not how to call it at all. And I love our fertility specialist.
She kept it 100.
Yes,
to say the least.
She was like, well, this is where we are, and blah blah blah. And we have 2 eggs for transfer, and basically for every 1 baby, you want to have at least 2 eggs. Mm-hmm. She was like, so I think you should do another round of IVF.
Plus, she knew that we wanted at least 2 kids, so
yeah.
she was doing what was in our best interest. I think we just had our expectation that, hey, this is what we're about to do, and like she said, that meeting didn't go as planned, but not the worst news, but also not the anticipated news. I'm not gonna say bad news, just not the anticipated news.
Yeah, when she was like, I want you to do another round of IVF, I was like, why? Yeah. And then when she explained why, basically saying like, well, on your paperwork, you said that you wanted 2 kids. So if you have 2 eggs and you need 2 eggs for every baby you want, you need to do another round so that you have eggs for in the future. Because otherwise, if let's say we did this transfer with these 2 eggs, got pregnant, by the time I would be in a position to do another round of IVF to try to have another baby, it would basically, it'd be a year from now. So she was like, you already started with 17 and only got 2 healthy eggs out of it. So we need to get you in the healthiest moment, and the younger you are, the healthier you are. And so we want 31-year-old eggs and like fertilized eggs versus 32, 33-year-old fertilized eggs.
I definitely feel like we're playing a game of probability, and she just wanted to give us the best chances, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, so she gave us the choice. Like, she was like, if you want to do the transfer, because in the back of I won't even say in the back of my head, I said that shit. I said, well, what if we only want 1 kid? Because I really didn't want to do another round of IVF. Mm-hmm. And she asked, well, why don't you want to do another round? And I said, well, it was really hard on me. And she was like, well, what was hard about it? And then I started explaining to her, like, I wasn't expecting her to ask that. So I started saying the symptoms that I was having in the moment, which weren't the same symptoms I was having during injections.
Wait. Can we edit like a GIF in the video? Because you ever see Jimmy Butler? This is how the doctor was. She was like,
we don't need a GIF. You just did it.
But you gotta see like, but that's essentially, she was just like, yeah, break it down to us. She was like, yes, you had those experiences, but I don't want to downplay it, but she basically said,
yeah. So she asked what the symptoms were, and I wasn't expecting that. So I said what my symptoms were that I was experiencing in the moment, which weren't the same as the ones I was experiencing in the injections.
yeah.
Which were like, they're kind of silly. I was like, oh, I have acne and I'm tired all the time and I'm nauseous all the time. Yeah. And she was like, well, I don't want to downplay your symptoms, but those aren't bad IVF symptoms, which I had way different symptoms with the injections, but I wasn't anticipating her to ask, so I wasn't prepared with an answer. But she kind of just was like, this is what I took from what she said. You know that's not bad. I need you to stop whining. You want a baby. It's going to be way worse when you're pregnant, so I need you to get with it or get lost. Like, that's what I took from that, which I think I needed. And when we got off the phone, Des and I talked, and he said, well, it's your choice. Like, you know, your body has to go through it. So, in reality, I know I should do another round of IVF, even though physically I didn't want to. And mentally, I was really emotional with all those injections and having to inject myself. And it was just tough.
It's a lot of different variables. I definitely feel like, especially since we're kind of giving our advice, I definitely want to explain some of the reasons why it was a little bit easier for us to make that decision. I think aside from us both going through the emotional aspect, we also have to look at the tangible items, where it's just like the insurance aspect. We don't know. Like, for instance, we had a group of insurance last year that changed coming into this year, which is completely different. So right now we're in the best situation to proceed with the best possible insurance for our situation. So why not maximize that? Because let's say, hypothetically speaking, we go through the transfer and then next year our company goes through and has a completely different set of insurance. Then we may be looking back and say, well, we shoulda, coulda, woulda, when it's like we have the opportunity to do so. So, like you said, I wanted to make sure that we were both on the same page, make sure that you were comfortable with everything, because although we have our end goal of what we want to do, I also feel like your physical and your mental well-being is just as important. So had, Nicole said that she didn't want to go through with it, I would have been on board with it. So I think that's the biggest piece, is going through the journey initially, having a set of expectations, and then kind of having to regroup to go through something else. I mean, that's all part of the journey. So I'm just glad that we're able to make decisions and push forward.
I should clarify, because we've never talked about like the financial aspect of it, and he just talked about it a little bit. So we should clarify. Our insurance does not cover this process in total.
Yeah.
But our insurance covers a portion of it, which is substantial enough where we felt like it was worth it to go through another round of IVF now.
Absolutely.
Because it could be the difference of basically like $10,000 if we were to wait another year and a half.
Which, that's not a small penny.
Yeah. So we still are paying for our IVF. It's just not the full portion of it, which is a blessing, because I know a lot of people's insurance doesn't cover it.
So now that we're going through this particular phase, what are some of the items that we have to pay for that we didn't pay for before?
I think maybe I'll do a separate video on that.
Okay.
Because that's a lot. That's a lot. I just wanted to see a quick update.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, there's a lot of details, and I know a lot of people want to know what's really going on. So we want to be as helpful as possible for those who may be going through it or are interested in just knowing the information. But it's a lot. I mean, it's definitely more than I thought it would be, but I feel like we're strong enough and we're built for this. So
yeah, I'll do a separate video on the financial stuff. So I guess this would be a good point to say, if you have questions about our financial portion of this journey, I guess is the best way to say it.
Comment about it.
Yeah, comment and let us know what you want to know, if you have any questions, and we can address it. I know that everybody's situation is different financially when it comes to IVF and fertility and infertility treatments. I always say it the wrong way, but we're more than willing to talk about ours. So comment below, ask if you have any questions. Do you have anything else to add to the update? We're starting our IVF in the second round tomorrow of injections, and they're adding new meds, which is not exciting.
So I think that'll be another set of videos of just documenting that second version. Have you updated the first one, or uploaded the first video with your injections?
I just did like the TikToks. I didn't do like all my injections. Oh, I did the video of my very first injection.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Other than that, that's pretty much what's been going on since the last time we posted. So that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Bye.
Deuces.